New routine, new rules next. Up to the mid 19th century, the company was concerned primarily with higher education, so it allowed the local to function without much interference. After 1854, the company decided to improve the system of education. It felt that this could be done by introducing order within the system, imposing routines, establishing rules, ensuring regular inspections. Next, how was this to be done? That measure did the company undertake? It appointed a number of government pandit, each in charge of looking after four of five schools. The task of the Pandit was to visit the Pathasa and try to improve and standard to teaching. Each guru was asked to submit periodic reports and take classes according to a regular timetable. Teaching was now to be based on textbooks and learning was to be tested through a system of annual examination. Students were asked to pay a regular fee, attend regular classes, sit on fixed seats, and obey the new rules of discipline. Next, which accepted the new rules were supported through government grants. Those who were unwilling to work within the new system received no government support. Our time gurus who wanted to retain their independence found it difficult to compete with the government aided and regulated Pathsala. Next, the new rules and routines had another consequence. In it, the earlier system, children from poor peasant family and had been able to go to Pathsala since the timetable was flexible. The discipline of the new system demanded regular attendance even during harvest time when children of poor families had to work in the fields. Inability to attend school came to be seen in independence is evidence of the lack of desire to learn. Next, the agenda for national education. Next, British officials were not the only people thinking about education in India from the early 19th century. Many thinkers from different parts of India began to talk of the need for a wider spread of education. Impressed with the development in Europe, some Indians felt that Western education would help modernize India. Next, they urged the British to open more schools, colleges, and universities and spend more money on education. You will read about some of these efforts. In chapter 9, there were other Indians, however, who reacted against Western education. Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore were two such individuals. Next, let us look at what they had to say. Next, English education has enslaved us. Next, Mahatma Gandhi argued that colonial education created a sense inferiority in the minds of Indians. It made them see Western civilization as superior and destroyed the pride they had in their own culture. There was poison in this education, said Mahatma Gandhi. It was sinful, it insulted Indians, it cast an evil spell on them. Next, calmed by the West, appreciating everything that came from the West, Indians educated in these institutions began admiring British rule, Mahatma Gandhi wanted an education that could help Indians recover their sense of dignity and self respect during the national movement. He urged students to leave educational institutions in order to show to the British that Indians were no longer willing to be enslaved. Next, Mahatma Gandhi strongly felt that Indian language ought to be the medium of teaching education in English. Crippled Indians distanced them from their own social surroundings and made them strangers in their own lands speaking a foreign tongue. Despising local culture, the English educated did not know how to relate to the message. Next, Western education, Mahatma Gandhi said, focused on reading and writing rather than oral knowledge. It valued textbook rather than lived experience and practical knowledge. He argued that education ought to develop a person's mind and soul. Literacy or simply learning to read and write by itself did not count as education. People had to work with their hands, learn a craft, and know how different things operated. This would develop their mind and their capacity to understand. Next, as nationalist sentiments spread, other thinkers also began thinking of a system of national education which would be radically different from that set up by the British. Next, Tagore's abode of peace. Next, many have heard of Saint Kitts. Do you know why it was established by the whom? Rabindranath Tagore started the institution on 1901. As a child, Tagore hated going to school. He found it spiriting and oppressive. The school appeared like a prison for the could never do what he felt like doing. So while other children listed to teach the teacher, Tagore's mind would wander away. The experience of his school days in Calcutta shaped Tagore's ideas of education on growing up. He wanted to set up a school where the child was happy, where she could be free and creative, where she was able to explore her own thoughts. The desire Tagore felt that childhood ought to be a time of self learning outside the rigid and restricting disciplines of the schooling system set up by the British. Teachers had to be understand the child and help the child develop her curiosity. According to Tagore, the existing schools killed the natural desire of the child to be creative, her sense of wonder.